orbiter. It has shape like pyramid. Enter into the orbiter, that is Aditus orbiter, and it has 4 walls. Superior wall forms with the help of pars orbitalis of frontal bone and ala minor of sphenate bone, and ala minor, that is the same superior wall of orbiter. Lateral wall, it is zygomatic process of frontal bone, facies orbitalis of zygomatic bone, and facies orbitalis of greater veins of sphenate bone. Inferior wall, a small part of zygomatic bone, then facies orbitalis of maxilla, and posteriorly small part, that is processus orbitalis of palatine bone. If you remember, lamina perpendicularis subdivides into processus orbitalis and processus sphenoidalis, and processus orbitalis participate in inferior wall of orbiter. And now middle wall, parius medialis. Anteriorly, that is frontal process of maxilla. Posteriorly, it is os lacrimale, lacrimal bone. Then lamina orbitalis of etmate bone, and most posterior position, that is body of sphenate bone. Now, openings. What opens into the orbiter? First of all, that is canalis opticus. Next, fissura orbitalis superior, fissura orbitalis inferior. It is beginning of canalis nasolacrimalis. The same we have sulcus infraorbitalis continues into canalis infraorbitalis, and it opens with foramen infraorbitale. Middle wall has 2 openings. They are absent in this skull, but necessary to know: foramen etmoidale anterior and foramen etmoidale posterior. They are openings of orbiter. And last, nasal cavity. 5 walls: superior, inferior, lateral, middle. Middle wall, that is septum of nasal cavity, and posterior wall. Posterior wall only superiorly has body of sphenate bone, all another space, that is Hane. What is inferior wall? Inferior wall, that is hard palate or palatum osseum. What is it? Palatine process of maxilla and lamina horizontalis of palatine bone. That is inferior wall of nasal cavity. Now, superior wall, it is lamina cribrosa of etmate bone, pars nasalis of frontal bone, and body of sphenate bone. Now, middle wall, septum nasi. Posteriorly, that is vomer. It is crista sphenoidalis. Inferiorly, crista nasalis of palatine bone, lamina horizontalis, and crista nasalis of palatine process of maxilla. Then anteriorly, it is lamina perpendicularis of etmate bone, and crista and spina nasalis of frontal bone. And lateral wall, it is facies nasalis of maxilla. The same it is concha nasalis inferior. Then this bone, lacrimal bone, it is on middle side of orbiter and lateral side of lateral wall of nasal cavity. Then labyrinths of etmate bone, then lamina perpendicularis of palatine bone, and pterygate process, or more better, lamina medialis of pterygate process of sphenate bone. Give me a piece of paper or copybook.